Breaking Black podcast. I have some exciting news to share with you all today. We are welcoming a new co-host to our show. Please help us in welcoming Janine Hartmann to Breaking Black podcast. Janine is an actress, a singer, and a dancer. And we are super excited to welcome her aboard to the Breaking Black podcast family. Janine, what do you want to tell the audience about yourself?
Hey guys, how y'all doing? My name is Janine Hartmann. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And like how my lovely co-host said, I am an actress, dancer, and I am a singer. And I'm very excited to be co-hosting with Tina for Breaking Black podcast.
We're super excited to welcome Janine aboard. It's going to be a blast for this new upcoming season of the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned. You can follow us on YouTube at Breaking Black Podcast. We are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and Patreon.
Check me out on my socials at the Janine Hartmann on IG and on TikTok and on Facebook. Janine Hartmann.
I ran across this video of you during casting that I just thought was amazing, and I would like to just cut to this. Let me tell you how incredible. First of all, I love like just the variety and style in your artistry. Like it is amazing to watch you. But one of the things that really struck me about that video is just like I find it to be so like bold and confident and vibrant. And I feel like a lot of times like, you know, in the industry, and then especially like as women of color, like sometimes we're not as celebrated, right? When it comes to like our style, our individuality. So I kind of wanted you to speak to the audience a little bit about like just maybe what some of those experiences have been in trying different forms of artistry, kind of learning what your rhythm is and where you feel like you're best suited and things like that.
The beginning of my career, and even sometimes, some places now, people want to fit you into a mold that they see, that they feel like you should be. Yes, I'm black. Yes, I'm thick. Oh, maybe she should go this route. No, baby. I'm going to go my own route. Hey, you can do what you want to do for you, baby. But just because you see somebody that may have the same physical attributes as me do one route doesn't mean that I'm Janine. I'm Janine Hartmann, and she's gonna do Janine Hartmann things. And I remember when I did an off-Broadway production, I remember one of the producers said to me, like, I'm just so happy you're here because, like, she was a thick girl too. She's like, you know, when I see you dance, it's like, it just shows like, oh, thick girls could dance too. And I'm just like, who made up this perception that we can't dance? I need to see, because everybody I know that's thick can move. It's just not like blasted all over the media, but we're there, you know? So honestly, I would just say, F it, be yourself. There's gonna be people that's trying to change you or trying to diminish you, trying to limit you in a way. Sometimes they don't even realize that they're doing it. It's like their own insecurities. I don't even entertain that. I just focus on me. I'm not even focused on me. So that's how I really go after my just performing. And on top of that, like whenever we had a family function, we would always play music, and they would always push like the younger kids to go dance. So like they kept pushing me to dance, and I'm not gonna lie, I was shy with my family, but I had an amazing dance teacher, and I'm still friendly to this day. And she told me, like, when I was younger, she's like, you know, you need to really dance. Like, you should consider a career in dance. And I was really young. I was like 11 at the time, and it really was just like she saw that in me, and I even saw that in myself, but I was just afraid to go after it. And if you know West Indian parents, if you ever go to them and say, oh, I want to go a career in art, they'd be like, what? What? Let's go art? Mind you, I had already, I've been doing, John Hopkins talented youth programs, business programs. I was that. So for me to go into art, all of a sudden they were like, but thankfully I had a girlfriend, one of my good friends, she saw me dance, and they had like a talent competition one time in college, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go sing and dance, but I was like nervous. Like I had the mic, and I was off the stage. I was like, it's my cue. Like I'm not going. And she's like, Jenny, what are you doing? Go. And she pushed me, and literally, like I was supposed to sing. They were gonna do like backup, and I was like, I threw that mic. I just started freestyle, and then they came out. We like did the dance together, and like literally from that, the message that I was a dancer spread throughout college. So like, I got on a dance team. I linked up with like the theater and dance department. I minored in theater, and from that, it was just like a bushfire. And then I was like, I always wanted to do acting. Let me audition for some films and some theater productions, and I got in, and I was like, okay, let's keep the ball rolling. Let's go. I want to sing now. Like I always wanted to be on Broadway. Let's go. And I got booked for like an off-Broadway production, and then we traveled, and then just the ball just kept rolling. So you just got to keep that mindset. Just jump up in there. And but I really want to thank the people that saw the talent in me. They was just like, you know what, Janine, you're too talented just to be chilling in an office that's working a 9 to 5. Like really go for it. Them as well as my parents and my big sister, because they really like they love me, and they really pushed me to my best. So I really appreciate that.
I love when you can find like a supportive environment as an artist. Like I have like a similar story. I think I was probably about 11 when I first auditioned, and it was crazy how it happened because a friend of mine was going to an audition, and she like wanted me to tag along. And like nowadays you can't even really bring your friends out with you, but this was back then. And she was like, come with me to this audition. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. And she's like, no, you have to come with me. So we get there, and she gets ready to do the audition on camera, and they invite me to basically audition with her. So she does one audition by herself, and then she does a paired audition with me where we're both on camera together. It was crazy because like she ended up booking the job. I didn't get it, and she ended up taking ill, and her family basically called, and they were like, hey, we recommended you to the production because we were the same age, we were the same height, same skin tone, same everything. And they basically told the production that she wouldn't be able to make it, and they had another young girl on tape, and they could review the tape. Basically, I was on the audition with her, and that's how I ended up getting the booking. We shot it in San Francisco as a commercial booking. And I'm just like, shout out to Shay. If you're watching, she actually is the one who got me started. And it's so funny because booking that one job is kind of what led me to like really talking to my parents about like doing more work in the industry. And I ended up like modeling in my teenage years and then working in film. And it was a really interesting experience.
Have you ever, and I'm sure you have, but like something where like you really remember that's probably like on your mind, like somebody trying to mold you or push you in a direction that you didn't want to be pushed in?
I had great experiences working as a child, and I feel like that's the thing about child actors or child performers. Like I feel like they just gravitate towards like your personality, and like it's it's freeing. You can to be an individual and to bring out your personality, and you have a lot of fun. Transitioning into the industry as an adult was a lot more difficult for me. I found it to be a lot more challenging. My look had kind of changed. I grew into my body, and it was like a lot of times, like during that period, I felt like there was always like a push to get me to like change something about myself. Like, I came in with like really curly hair, and it was like, I would always be asked if I could straighten it, for a particular role. I used to have like a lot of funky colors. Like anybody who's known me for like I used to have like pink hair and green and blue. Like Kelly's used to, when she came out with like milkshake, oh, that was my jam. And she had the little curly pink and green tendrils, blue tendrils. I was loving it, and so I tried all those different things. Like growing up, I had my hair shaved on the side, I had a mohawk, like I did it all. And, yeah, and so it's like I remember when people used to like always want me to fit a particular box. I'd take my piercings out and, you know, change my hair color. I'm seeing more free creativity, but I still feel like, you know, there's always that pressure put on us to kind of conform to what, like, you know, the typical standard of beauty is. And I'm, you know, I'm a thicker woman too. You know, I have a little bit more of a vivacious figure and all of that. And we're always kind of asked to, you know, change that, slim it down. I love the industry and I love working in it as a performer, but I'm also just like wanting to create a space where like we can just comfortably be ourselves. And I think like that's one of the reasons why like I celebrate this even in podcasting. Is just like I want women to feel like whoever they are, however they represent themselves, whatever they're into, whatever their style is, like we celebrate that. And all of you ladies out there like that are listening to our podcast, like it's really important to really receive that message about yourself and to be confident in who you are and your aesthetic and your style and whatever looks good and feels good to you. I'm sure you can relate to that, you know, coming through the industry. We've both been at it, you know, for a while now and trying different facets of the industry. So I'm sure we share in like a lot of those experiences and probably some of those horror stories too.
Man, child. But that's crazy, you know, like I didn't even really, it didn't sink into me coming from like a child actor to an adult actor, because I mean, like you see it on the news all the time. I mean, I couldn't listen. God bless you, girl. I couldn't even be no child actor. I was like a triple D by 11, like, and I was small too. That's why I was like, my sister was like, where did my little sister go? Like I was like, girl, I was just really curvy. And I don't know if it's like just a black thing or something, but everybody in my neighborhood, like all the West Indians, they either had a big booty, big thighs, or a big chest, and we were all like 12. We could not be on Disney, girl. I was like, God bless you, girl. I don't even know. That's why we didn't see that much of us on Disney, okay?
Yeah, I never thought about that. I think it did help me work in, you know, as a younger person for a longer period of time than I think like I had gotten cast like 15 years younger, you know, at certain periods of my life as an adult, just because of how young I was reading. Like you said, it is a challenge coming into your own, because when you're a child, you know, you're just cutesy and you know, you wear whatever you wear and people, you know, kind of dictate what you look like. But as you're coming into your own, you kind of get your own style, your own flavor. And it's like, it might not always be everyone's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? And during the time when I was coming into the industry, I feel like there was like a formula, and it was kind of like, if you didn't fit that formula, it was a lot more difficult to work. And when I got out to Los Angeles for the first time, I was getting like the rude awakening of my life. And you know, it's interesting because as performers, like, you know, like you have to have like a lot of confidence, because there's like a lot of rejection that, you know, comes with what we do, and even just like trying to get better at our crafts. There's a lot of, you know, times that we're going out for auditions or reads or things like that. And, you know, we can experience, you know, a lot of no's. We can experience a lot of rejections. That's just a part of it, I guess. But in some ways, I love that it helps us to bounce back and be resilient and, you know, be confident. And even when we run into like fellow artists, it's like a shared experience. So it's easier for us to open up and relate to people that might have gone through some of those same experiences too.
Absolutely. And you like, even when you like, I'm immediately thinking of like what you said of like how we like you look younger, which you absolutely do. I remember when we first met. Like, what is this 12-year-old girl doing in a rap video? Like, I was like, who's this little girl? Where's her parents? Where's her parents? This little cute little girl. But then I was like, oh, she's an adult. Okay. But no, absolutely. But I think that's also beautiful about just that ability, because that for me means that you have a longer tenure in the career because you look so young. So like, I mean, as you can see, like Gabrielle Union, I mean, I didn't even know she was 50. I was like, Sanaa Lathan, you know, Regina Hall, Regina King, like they have like baby faces. They can still pull off 30s, and even some could even play like let's not forget our honorable vampire, Bianca Lawson. It's been playing in high school.
Absolutely.
Let's not. We have to give graces, because I don't know what she's drinking. Please, when you're in LA, please bottle up that water and ship that to Brooklyn, because I need to have some of what she's drinking.
We watched the Best Man series during the holidays with our family, and I was looking at all the actors and actresses, and I was like, they have not changed a bit. I think it was like 20 years, or I don't even know, between the length of time, right? And from the first movie to the series, and it's like they looked incredible, like all of them, all the actresses you mentioned, like haven't changed a bit. The actors looked exactly the same, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, to be young and fabulous in Hollywood. That's all I want to say. Who would you say is like your favorite like dancer or performer?
So Chloe Bailey live. And like I went to like more she's not independent, but I went to more like smaller acts, and she was amazing. Like I was like blown away. And I love that intimate setting instead of like a big concert. Like the way she performed, it felt like a stadium but within a club setting. So, like I was like so close, like you can like touch her, but like her voice, musicality, everything was beautiful. Even like with Beyonce's Renaissance, like she doesn't have to. She knows she doesn't have to like jump up everywhere. Like she knows her voice. She knows she'll break out into choreography here and there. And I know that she did have an injury during the tour, but even without that, like it was still a beautiful tour. From what I could see on the clips of TikTok, because clearly y'all was getting all them tickets. I couldn't even get it. I was just like, oh. I was on the wait list for the wait list. I was like, you know what? I'm a bow out.
Yeah, I went to see Audra Day, and she was incredible. We recently went to see Ari Lennox at her concert, the last concert that she had, and it was amazing. They were great, both incredible artists, incredible voices. They sound literally exactly like they sound on record, which was like incredible. So like I didn't get a chance to check out Beyonce's new tour, but I have seen Beyonce in the past. I went to her concert previously, and she gave an incredible show when her and Jay performed together. So that was an amazing show. Who are some of your musical influences that you listen to right now that are on your playlist?
Right now, well, it's definitely Sexy Red. I even got my parents on Sexy Red. My father was like, bow, bow, bow.
Sexy.
Give me sexy. Give me sexy. Give me sexy. Give me sexy.
Let's say Dolce is everywhere. Like I love Dolce. She's doing her damn thing. Chloe, Halle's like angelic voice. Oh my goodness. Do recycle some of the artists that I grew up with. Like grew up with Nicki, grew up with Trey. So like I'm gonna always like gravitate back to them. Like those are like my feel good moments. And then I will try some new artists. I mean, look, Vibes Cartel came out of jail. I was like, son, you know how many girls I battled to your song? Valiant. There's like a couple of dancer artists that I listen to. I love Shensia. Vice is the OG, of course, but Shensia I love Jada Kingdom. Now I love Blackman, a couple of soca artists. Those are my artists right now. Victoria Monet is awesome. Love her.
I love her.
And there's other times I want to listen to Broadway music. Like, that's just the vibe I am. There's other times I'm going to listen to Dolly Parton and some other country song and George Jones and bring it back. Because my father loves country. Like, that's what he grew up with. So, like, all that is embedded in me.
Who would you say is, like, your favorite, like, dancer?
A lot of the great dancers, like, I mean, I have to go to with the OGs, Michael, Janet, Britney, definitely created, like, the mold. Love her. Who are your favorite performers and dancers right now?
Ooh, well, when I was growing up, I like loved me some Michael Jackson. Okay, like I was like, I had the jacket. I was like listening to every song. I loved me some Janet Jackson, the Rhythm Nation. She had the black on.
Yeah.
I like love them. I would probably say like currently I love to watch Chris Brown dance. I think he's an incredible dancer. I love to watch Usher's performances. Like Usher just top tier.
I also appreciate people who don't really know how to dance but can still entertain me. You know what I mean? Like I love seeing people on stage and they might be a little quirky, they might be a little off, but they're themselves. And when I mean off, I meant like off the beat. Like you could just see them like, okay, like you're not the strongest dancer and that's fine. Like when you're a performer, you just gotta be yourself. Because we've already had Michael, we already had Janet, we have Britney, we have Beyonce, we have a whole bunch of other amazing, talented artists. We gotta see who's the next like you. It's not the next Michael, it's the next you.
When I went to college, I took dance production, thinking, I'll be a jack of all trades. When I tell you that I could not keep up with the counts, I was one of the worst dancers ever. Zero coordination. People were coming to me in the bathroom like, how long have you been doing dance? Like, is this new for you? I was like, oh my God, I just thought I would naturally have rhythm, be able to do it. But keeping up with the counts is very different. And I have done cheerleading. So I was like, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park. Not at all. It was the worst thing I'd ever done. I got a passing grade, but my instructor was like, yeah, maybe dance is not for you. So please, I'd love to hear like when you got to dance classes and you were learning different styles of dance and things like that, like did it come naturally to you?
It came natural because my dance teacher that I was referring to she's my ballet teacher. So I didn't really get like a formal hip hop or like dance hall, like Afro dance teacher. I learned that either at home or like if I'm going out to the clubs. And that's the one thing about dancing. Like I am blessed that I was able to learn dance in like for a ballet setting, like in that typical, stature setting. I went to the club and I would go and battle girls. That was another thing about me. I'm very competitive. So you would act like anything. So especially with dancing, like I remember I was specifically going to clubs to battle bitches.
You girls want some of this? Bring it on, sisters. Okay, let's do it. 5, 6, 7, 8.
That formed my dance ability and my performance ability on top of the professional training that I had. And then on top of that, when you're in a dance team and you're traveling from college to college and you're like going against other colleges, that's another art form as well. So like I was very well versed and I just learned to adapt. But yeah, like I literally just, the best thing is just to be yourself. Make sure you catch rhythm. Now, even like how it is, it's still fast. It's still like they'll throw you choreography. I feel like it's kind of easier now, but I think it's because of the experience that I have where I could just catch choreography like, okay, let's go. Like I know my body, I know what I have to do. Even though you see choreography doesn't mean that you have it. You gotta your mind knows it, your body does not. You gotta train that body to get a minute because you think, oh, I can do this little step, and then you're like, wait. You gotta get that physicality.
Who are some of your favorite artists? Who do you currently have on your playlist? Who are you listening to right now? What dancers do you love to watch? Drop a comment and let us know. Follow us on YouTube at Breaking Black Podcast. We are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and Patreon. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to Breaking Black Podcast on all music and streaming platforms. And again, follow Janine
at the Janine Hartmann on IG and on TikTok and on Facebook, Janine Hartmann.
Thank you for tuning in to Breaking Black Podcast, and we'll see you soon.